Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's LatinaMami or whatever. You guys, I can't stop laughing because they sound so fucking funny. Like, I got sick. I woke up sick, so just I'm gonna be drinking a lot of water during this video, so don't like criticize. Your girl needs her water. But anyways, as you guys know, this is another story time video. The reason I'm doing another story time video is because you guys really like to enjoy the last one. So here I am back. I'm better than ever. Actually, no, I'm sick, but I'm back and I'm here to tell you guys of how I quit / got fired from Aldo. So you guys, I am ready to tell you guys this story. So, as many as you guys know, probably from Snap or even Instagram, I used to work at Aldo. So I'm gonna get started from how I got the job to literally every last bit and detail that I know and remember. So I got the job, this was before school started, so I was gonna start my senior year, and basically, like, I was shopping around with my mom looking for cute shit, you know, to be popping for the school year. And I went into Aldo and I was looking at the shoes or whatever, and I was dressed cute, you know, like, I like to go stunting to the mall because you never know when you're gonna find yourself a sugar daddy. No, I'm just playing, but no, like, I just like to dress well, like, I just, you know, I put my style, I'm extra slick, let alone. But yeah, so like when I go out to places like that, I like to stunt and be shining. So I walked in and I remember I was wearing, like, I don't know what to call the skirts, but they're kind of like the skirts that are pegaditas, and then like a white long sleeve crop with like some heels. So I don't know, I guess that like really brought to attention to the workers or the managers there. And the head manager, as you guys know from my last storytime video if you watched it, I'm gonna call her G again, just because I don't really want to use her name, like, let alone, excuse me. But yeah, like, G saw me walk through the door and she was like, oh my god, hi. She was like ringing me up because I think we did buy something. Oh yeah, my mom bought a pair of shoes and I bought some sunglasses, and she was ringing us up and she was like, how many people have complimented you today? And I was like, not much, you're the first, but thank you. And she was like, yeah, you look really good. She's like, it looks like you know how to dress. Have you ever worked before? And I was like, no, I haven't. And like, because it was true, bitch, I have it. And she was like, oh, well, like, if your mom like lets you or stuff, because obviously I was with my mom, she was like, would you want to set up an interview? Oh my god, I'm sorry. Would you like to set up an interview to work at Aldo? And I was like, yeah, like, fuck yes, bitch, like, So I was all hyped up because, like, I was like, fuck, finally my looks are getting me somewhere. No, I'm just kidding. But but like, I was excited because I was like, fuck, like, I'm gonna be working when I'm in school, so everything's just gonna like be easier. And I really thought that I was like on my grind, which I was for like the first month or so, but y'all, it was a trap. It was a fucking trap. So, you know, I come in. Okay, you guys, I did not receive an orientation or any types of training because I didn't go in with a group. I guess she just hired me. So I got interviewed. I went to the interview, nailed it. Hello. I even wore like Aldo pumps to the interview just so they knew like I was on some real shit. So I go and then I'm like, and like, I even did my research, bitch. Like, I wanted to make sure that I nailed this interview. So I got the job. I get a call like a week later, and I got the job and they were like, congratulations, blah blah blah, and you start this day. So I had to like bring in, like, it's just work shit. Like, I'm not really gonna go in depth with everything, but like, it's just like you had to come in, you had to do this. but I never received an orientation. Like I never was taught, let alone that they know that I had never worked a day in my life. Like I didn't know what to do, and I didn't receive an orientation to what to do. So let's just say that while I was working, I was learning along the way. So my first day, I got yelled by these chinitos, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, bitch, is my first day. Like, they saw that G was training me and shit, and like, it was because the freaking receipt machine was broken or jammed or some shit, and they got all mad and shit. And I was like, girl, relax, it's my first motherfucking day. Like, I know y'all see this, I know y'all see her teaching me. And I just felt like shit because I was like, fuck, like I really wanted to cry because first of all, I had never worked, and I was just like, fuck, like I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I just started learning along the way, and you guys, things got difficult for me. Like some things that I got in trouble for, like I was gonna get written up, sorry, I never got written up, but I was gonna get written up for not knowing how to put like some insoles in, and I was like, bitch, how the fuck, like, do you expect me to know this? Like, I came in like a newborn baby, I don't know what to do. Okay, so let's just say at the beginning I was already having drama with some of the motherfucking managers. Like, y'all, it was fucking crazy. Like, let me just put this in here just because I remembered off the top of my head. I am not bashing Aldo, let alone the brand. The store is a really good brand, and honestly, if anything, I would recommend you to get shoes there because girl, I love the shoes there. It's just particularly at my store, this is the way they treated me, this is the way I had to deal with things, you know. Like, I'm not bashing Aldo or anybody. Like I said, I always just come here and I say the things how they are. If you don't like it, then don't watch it. But so yeah, you guys, so I was in the drama with one of my managers, not G. We had multiple managers, so like some days some other managers would come in, and then some days we would have G or like other managers. It's just like a whole thing. Like, we had a shitload of managers. So, you know, I was working or whatever, and I remember that we had a customer. So we don't get paid by commission, which I don't see why the hell it was such a big deal. But I remember that my manager was like getting a customer, like she was getting him his shoes, his insoles. So like basically when you give a customer like insoles and stuff like that, shoe care, you're, I don't know even how to explain it. It's not commission. You just get like a good percentage on your chart, I guess, that just says like, oh, you're selling well or whatever. But again, we didn't have commission, and commission is when you get paid for the work that you do. So she was like, oh shit, I was like, is this recording? So again, we did not have any types of commission. I know I said that like 100 bajillion times, but it's true, bitch. So she was getting her customer ready, like he already had a pair of shoes and shit, and you know, I was the cashier, a cashier. I don't know why I said cashier, but I was a cashier. And like from the beginning, like, yes, I could sell people products and stuff like that, but because I was just new, like I was just cashiering. So she sent her customer over, and in the counter where I was cashiering, we have all the shoe care products. So I was like, hi sir, would you be interested in buying this? This has a certain care for this, like explaining it to them, persuading them, finessing them, whatever you want to call it, to buy the shoe care. So he bought the shoe care. Again, I didn't know, okay? So it wasn't for her to have such a big deal. Like, I understand I should have asked, but I was like, I was excited. Like, I had sold somebody a product and I felt proud that it was shoe care, which is what my manager really wanted to see us sell. So I put the transaction under my name, and I was like, okay, yes. I didn't know how to split transaction at the time. Like, I didn't know how to put like the shoes under her name and then the shoe care under mine. So also, guys, I was rushed to the fucking asshole. Like, there were so many people, and I would work like on weekends. And again, like, I used to work at fashion shows, so that's like the hottest tourist mall, where a lot of people go to buy their shit. So I was just like, fuck. So like, I put it under my name, and I was just like cobrándole or whatever, and applying the discounts and shit like that, and he paid or whatever. So that was over with. Like, that was normal. So then I'm gonna call her K. I'm just using literally the first letters of people's names, but I'm gonna call her K because she was one of the managers. She comes up to Gloria, no, to me, and she's like, did you put that transaction under my name? And I was like, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I didn't tell her yes, you guys. I was just like, I don't know. And then she's like, oh, because I sold him my product, that product. And I was like, yeah, I sold him shoe care. And she was like, ugh. Like, she just went like that, and she called Gloria, and G, fuck, dude, fuck. She called G, and she was just like regañándome, dude, like really, like just fucking flat out, like, you know that if you do this again, like I'm gonna have to write you up, like that is not okay. And she was like, because this is the effort that people put into. And I was like, okay, like I didn't know. As if you don't fucking remember, I never received an orientation. You're teaching me as I work, as it happens. So I was just like, well, I'm sorry. Like I told Kay, I was like, I'm sorry, like I didn't mean to do that, I just didn't know. And like, she was like, no, it's okay. Like, she was cool about it afterwards, and I was like, okay. Still, like, I kind of noticed that, you know, like, she was still like checking up on me. So yeah, let alone, you guys, like, I'm going to be, but like, I was 17 when I got this job, and I was working with like old ass people, like people that are above their 20s, like 25. And like, even when G hired me, she didn't think I was 17. She thought I was like at least 18. So yeah, you guys. And then like, as like I kept working and stuff like that, I started noticing that, you know, I was just getting less days. I wouldn't really get props on what I would do. And yes, like sometimes, like one of the managers I was really cool with, he was like, he would tell me like, yes girl, your shoe care is popping, whatever. I fucking loved him. I never had a problem with him, and till this day, like I see him, I'm still gonna be like, hey, like. But yeah, I guess it was just like what was going on. But okay, so I know I probably shouldn't say how much I was getting paid, but I'm not working there no more, so I was getting paid $8.50, you guys. So I was getting paid $8.50 and only working on weekends. So no hours during the week, literally Saturday and Sunday, sometimes just Sunday or Saturday. So I live pretty far from the fashion show, and when I would have to pay like Ubers and stuff like that, because I didn't drive, and I don't drive yet entirely, you know, it would cost me more to get to the damn mall than for what I was getting paid. And I was just like, okay, this isn't worth it. This isn't worth a single penny that I'm making here. And you know, my paychecks would be literally like $30-$50, and I was just like, no. Then when I started realizing that they were getting like seasonal workers, and they were paying them $10.50, and they would actually keep the seasonal workers. So they would think that, okay, like, you get, just because they have the title seasonal, you get paid $10.50. So when you're like working, I guess, or whatever, they would keep the seasonal workers, if that makes sense. Like, they would call them seasonal, but they would keep them. And obviously, like, they cannot down their pay from $10, because then like some chaos would pop up. Like, if you're paying them 10 already, then that's where it stays. Like, you can't put their pay down just because you decided to keep the workers. So a girl exactly my age. I also got really good along with her. Like, she was a really cool girl. She was my age, and like she told me, she was like, yeah, like I'm getting paid 10 something and getting like almost hours 5 days a week. And I was like, what? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, that is so unfair. So I was just like, okay, you know what, like I'm a fool. Like, literally I'm starting to become a fool to these people, and they just have me like when they don't have people. So I was like, whatever, I don't give a fuck anymore. So they laid me off for like a couple months, I could say like 2 months. And like I was just like, am I working here or not? Like, I don't even know. So they laid me off, and like, you guys, this job, when I'm telling you, like, this job was fucking difficult. It was difficult. Like, even if you would just work the weekends, you would never want to work for the entire like rest of the week. But I still didn't mind it, because if it was involving me getting paid and getting money, like, I wouldn't have given a shit. But literally, like, I wasn't getting any hours. And they would enforce you sometimes. Like, sometimes I would have to work in heels. Girl, my fucking feet would be blistered and bleeding, and I would just be fucking tired as fuck. You would have to be like this to attend people. And not only that, like, I would get humiliated. I would get yelled at by people, and like for things that weren't even my fault. Like, if I didn't have a shoe size, like, that's not my fucking fault, bitch. Don't fucking come and scream at me. Like, that was just the type of shit that I had to go through. And I was just like, oh my god. So when I started to realize that this job was shit, literally, like, I was like, okay, no. So when they started giving me like back my schedules after I got laid off, like, I remember I was just like getting like a day of a week, like literally a Sunday, missed 2 weeks, then a Saturday, and it was just like working like that. Oh, and closing shifts, which is probably one of the hardest shifts. If you ever work or have a job right now, you know that nobody wants to close. It depends sometimes, yes, the job that you are in, but in my circumstances, like, closing was a horrible, worst thing ever, because you had to clean the entire store. You had to like make sure everything was good. You had to count all the money from the cash wrap. You just had to like be perfect, and if you didn't, like, you would get yelled at the next fucking morning if you worked. So I would get horrible like shifts, like, as they didn't know, like, I'm young, I go to school, you know, especially on Sundays too. And like, I started realizing, I was like, this isn't even fucking worth going no more. So I stopped going. And I didn't even tell them anything. But also because like I didn't even get the schedules anymore. Like, they would send them through a group chat, and I wasn't even receiving them. So I was like, what the fuck? So I just didn't care. I didn't call. I wasn't concerned about that job, because I didn't care if I lost it or not. Like, I was getting paid misery. So I was like, no. So basically, like, I just didn't give a shit. And like, they called me after like I wasn't showing up and stuff, and literally, like, this is how it was, okay? So G was like, hi, Chantel. And I was like, yes. So I noticed, okay, so she was like, so you have 4 no calls, no shows, so you give me no other option than to fire you. I guess that's what she said. I don't even remember. And I was like, oh, really? Like, I'm so sorry. Like, honestly, I didn't know. She's like, yeah, it's fine. Like, just know you're always welcome to come and visit. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you. All right, well, bye. And girl, I started dancing, because I was like, like, I really didn't even want that job anymore, to be so honest with you. Because you guys, usually when you lose a job, probably because I didn't have no responsibilities at the fucking moment, so that's why I was like, whatever. But usually when people lose their jobs, they're like, fuck, man, like, what am I gonna do? And I was just like happy as fuck, honestly, you guys. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened. And I don't know, like, I would just really hear gossip about me and shit. Since the problem, if you guys haven't watched my other story time, since the problem with like 2. That's what I called the character in my story time. Since the problem with 2, I started realizing a lot of like sketchy shit, so I was like, whatever. Like, I didn't even care enough to be like, oh my god, like I lost my job. Like, no, I didn't. So I don't know what to call it. Basically, like, that's why I said I quit / got fired. But yeah, like, it wasn't such a big fucking drama thing. That's why I was like, I don't know why people want to know this, but you know, cheese me and shit. But yeah, you guys, that's basically how I got fired, I guess. Still don't know what I would call it. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments what the fuck you would call it. Be honest, because I don't give a shit. Also, let me know if you guys like this look. I tried to look a little bit more presentable this time, including that I'm like super sick and I feel like shit. But still, I'm here for you guys because I love you. Okay, you guys, and that was story time for the day. I'm sorry if it was like short or uninteresting. Like, usually my other stories are like really poppin', but you guys chose this one because you guys wanted to know how I quit or how I got fired from Aldo, so there you go. But anyways, I want to thank you all for returning back to my channel, also for watching my videos, and also for all the positive feedback. Please make sure to like this video, thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever. Get people to subscribe to me because, you know, why not? So yeah, you guys, I love you all. Thank you so much, and